Hello, I'm David Steinberg. I'm a professor of law at the Thomas Jefferson School of Law, and I wanted to talk to you a little today about law school and some ideas for the new year. It's a new year. You've probably made New Year resolutions, and one of them, for a lot of you, I bet, is to work harder in law school. Well, that's a good resolution, but I have a better one for you, which is to work smarter. That's what's going to get you the payoff as opposed to just spending more time. Work smarter. Now, what does that mean? One thing it means is to spend time and energy and focus on what goes on in the classroom. You have a lot of big, heavy law case books. They're great for building muscles, but nothing in the case book is going to tell you what you need to do on the exam. You're going to get that out of your law school classes. So, you're a professional now. You're in law school. You're a professional. You need to treat the law school classroom like an office. In other words, you need to be very professional about the way you spend your time in the classroom. Find a nice, quiet seat. Sit in the front so you can hear the professor and see the board. Very important. Get to class early and have your materials ready to go. So when the professor's ready, you're ready. I'll tell you why that in particular is important. What part of class really matters? Well, I'm a professor. I'm going to tell you everything that goes on in class matters. But pay a particular attention to the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. Why is that time important? That's time often where the professor will summarize, will say things like to summarize or to reviews. Those are magic words. Those words say to you, this is important. Listen. So, you need to be in class on time to hear that. I'm a professor who typically in my classes likes to spend the first 5 minutes reviewing what we've done in the class before, or maybe a couple of classes before. And if I'm on my game, I'll give you a pretty decent review. If you get there 5 minutes late, you missed it. You missed the most important part. So be there on time. Be ready to go. Be ready to take good notes. Now that also goes to some of the bad advice that's floating around out there. And one of the worst pieces of advice you tend to get as a law student is the great myth of the law school all-nighter about staying up late and drinking lots of caffeine and depriving yourself of sleep, and somehow this is going to make good things happen to you. Worst thing you can do. Because if you do that, the next day when you go to class, you're not going to be awake and alert. That class may be the class where the professor covers the material that's critical for the final exam. And you're going to be dozing off when they do that. Don't do it. You need to set a time when you're going to wrap things up each night and get to sleep. I don't care where you are in the reading. I don't care where you are in your legal research paper. Put it to bed, as it were. Put yourself to bed. Now, to do that, you got to build in some time for exercise during the day, too, so you can fall asleep. Now, I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes a little bit, saying, well, so I get a good night's sleep and I exercise and I'm going to do well in law school? Well, it works. Kind of a funny side note, unusual side note, some of my best students have been marathon runners, people who run long distances every day. Do you have to be a marathon runner? Well, no, you don't. If I did a marathon, it would probably take me a week. But, just get out and get some exercise. Get a good night's sleep. Not only are you going to do better at school, you're going to feel better as well. Now, so far we've been talking mostly about classes and studying. And during the first year, that's certainly what you want to focus on. That's what took all my time during my first year. But as you move away from the first year and become an upper level student, there are other things you can think about. in terms of career building. And the thing I want you to think about is what brought you to law school? What are you passionate about? Because the attorneys I know, the happy ones, are the ones that are working in areas that they really care about and are really passionate about. Now let's just take a hypothetical student, Jill, and let's say Jill's interest is family law. That's what really interests her. Let's say that's what interests you. Well, what opportunities do you have in family law? Let me ask you, does your school have a family law society? If so, get involved. If not, start one. Maybe put together a panel of some attorneys in town who do family law, who come to your school and give a talk. Attorneys love to be invited to law school and to give talks. They enjoy interacting with students. They find it flattering, which of course it is. These people are going to remember you. They're going to remember you in a positive way. And there's a lot of opportunities outside of law school as well. Internships, working part-time, volunteer for the Bar Association. The last thing I want to tell you about at the beginning of this new year, and it's something I don't think we tell you enough, is I want to give you some positive reinforcement, because the fact that you're a law student makes you special. It makes you special because law school is hard to get into, and it makes you special because you're working very hard for no money. Now, why are you doing this? You're doing it because you care, because you want to have a career that matters, because you want to make a difference. So you are a special person. Don't forget that, and let's make 2008 a great year. Thanks for watching.